What are the reasons your workers' comp claim could be denied in Massachusetts? Hi, I'm attorney John Sheehan. Since 1993, I've represented thousands of injured workers and car accident victims throughout Massachusetts. I fight to ensure that each client receives all the compensation and medical treatment that they're entitled to without getting taken advantage of by an insurance company. Well, one of the main reasons why your workers' comp claim could be denied is maybe you didn't report the injury right away. It's important that you report the injury as soon as possible to your employer. You should report it to your boss, your supervisor, human resources, the personnel department, and make sure you keep a record. Ask them to fill out a accident report, to give you an accident report to fill out. If they won't, make sure that you do something to document the accident and the fact that you reported it, even if it means sending an email or a text message, so that you have some documentation of the date and time that you reported the accident in case they try and deny that you reported it later on. Another reason why your workers' comp claim could be denied is maybe the accident was not work-related. It wasn't related to your job. There are different situations where this could happen. One of the most common ones is what we call the going and coming rule. In order to be entitled to workers' comp benefits in Massachusetts, besides being an employee, you have to be in the course of your employment at the time that you have the work accident. If you're on your way to work, if you're commuting to work from your house, or you finished work and now you're commuting back home, while you're on the road either to work or coming from work to go home, that's not considered in the course of your employment. And generally speaking, if you had an accident on your way to work or on your way home, you most likely will not be entitled to workers' comp benefits. However, there could be some exceptions to that, so never assume that you're not entitled to workers' comp benefits, even if you're on your way to work or on your way home. You might fit into a exception and might be entitled to workers' comp. Another example of a accident not related to your job or not in the course of your employment is if you're on a break. If you're not actually in the course of your employment at the time that you have your accident. But again, there could be some exceptions. If the accident happened on your employer's premises, for example, even if you're not actually doing your job at that moment, you may fit into an exception. So you should always contact an experienced workers' comp lawyer to see if you're entitled to workers' comp, even if you get hurt on the break while you're at your employer's premises. Another reason why you might not be entitled to workers' comp, or why the workers' comp insurance company might deny your claim, is if your injury does not disable you from work. There's different types of workers' comp benefits. The main benefits that an injured worker receives following a work accident are medical benefits and lost wage benefits. In order to be able to receive workers' comp lost wage benefits, whether temporary total benefits or partial benefits, you need a disability note from your doctor. If your doctor says that you're not disabled and you can work, or you can work with limitations and your job can accommodate you, can work around those limitations, then you might not be able to receive workers' comp lost wage benefits, at least as long as your doctor is saying that you're able to work, or your employer is able to work with your doctor's recommended limitations. Another reason why workers' comp could deny your claim in Massachusetts is if you have a pre-existing condition. If the reason for your need for medical treatment or your disability is not related to a work accident, but it's because of some medical condition that was there and pre-existed before the work accident. Now this can be very tricky, because you could have a pre-existing condition that's shown on a diagnostic test, such as a CAT scan or an MRI, for example, involving your shoulder joint or the discs in your neck or your lower back and your spine. But you weren't affected or limited by any such condition. You were able to do all of the physical requirements of your job up until you had the work accident, and it's from that point that you started having pain symptoms and problems, and you weren't able to do the job. If you did not have any medical treatment around the time of your work accident, and you weren't limited in your ability to perform your work duties at the time that you had your work accident, then you should consult with an experienced workers' comp lawyer to be able to see what can be done to be able to file a claim. Finally, another reason why you might be denied workers' comp is because the insurance company and your employer is saying that you're not an employee under the law. They might be saying that you're an independent contractor. Now, just because they say that, just because your employer calls you an independent contractor, does not mean that you're an independent contractor. You could still be an employee, at least under the laws of Massachusetts, and still entitled to workers' comp. There are many situations that I encounter in my practice on a daily basis where employers are intentionally misclassifying workers, calling them independent contractors, when in actuality they're employees. And if they get hurt on the job while in the course of their employment for that company, and they're injured, they need treatment, and they're disabled from work, then they should be entitled to receive workers' comp benefits. And if the insurance company denies the benefits based on that misclassification, then an experienced workers' comp lawyer could file a claim for you to be able to get you your workers' comp benefits. If you've been injured in a work accident in Massachusetts and you're disabled from work because of the work accident and the injuries that you sustained in the accident, you should contact an experienced workers' comp lawyer as soon as possible, even if you're receiving workers' comp benefits, or maybe your workers' comp benefits have recently been denied or reduced or modified. If you'd like to speak with me about your workers' comp accident in Massachusetts, I'd be happy to talk with you. It's easy to contact me. Our telephone number appears below this video. If you'd like to send me an email, our email address appears in the description below this video, or you could visit my website where you'll find contact forms that you can fill out and submit to us. I'd be happy to respond, to reach back to you. We could talk about your Massachusetts workers' comp accident, what your injuries are, what treatment you received, what additional treatment your doctors are recommending, and if your workers' comp benefits have been denied or terminated, why would they denied or terminated, and what next steps would I recommend going forward. If you found the information in this video informative and helpful, please like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, click the bell icon below so that you receive notifications of my future videos, and share this video with your friends and family.